tremendous looking trophy.
Hey, welcome to the #1 PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias. I am Dylan Blight, joined by Ashley Hopley.
Yes, you are.
Why did you, every week you have to say it like I said something weird, but this week I feel like I honestly nailed that intro.
I couldn't think of anything else clever to say.
You could just say, hello.
Hello.
How you going?
How you going, Dylan?
You could pretend we haven't already seen each other and just be like, how's your day?
How's your day, Dylan?
Yeah, it's been all right, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just what you do on podcasts, I feel. You just pretend. It's all
pretend?
make-believe.
Oh, okay.
You're a fake person. I'm a fake person.
Are we even people?
What is life?
So somebody just trained a bunch of bots to recreate a PlayStation podcast, and this is the result?
Yeah, it's like that next level Twitch streaming bot shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to Platinum Explosion, #1 botcast in the Oceanias, where we sometimes talk about PlayStation and video games in bot form.
How's your day, Dylan?
Yeah. All right. Let's kick things off. Given that you were giving me shit on Twitter for it last week, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
I finished 2 games this week. 2 games that arguably some would say I should have finished ages ago.
I wouldn't say ages ago. Months ago.
Fucking hell. So this week I finished Detroit, Become Humans, the Hit Gorillaz album from about 2 years ago, and God of War.
Yeah. Good
Now,
work.
God of War was as I said on Twitter to you.
Yeah.
People were like, wait, finished that yet? I got the ending spoiled. It took me about 2 hours to finish. That's how far I was from the finish when I stopped
Before the last boss fight, I guess?
Basically.
Before you went the snake?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, before the snake.
Okay, yeah.
A little bit, just before the snake, basically. So, yeah, I was about 2 hours out from finish, and I knew I was roughly 2 hours out from finish, but I got the game spoiled, like the ending, and it kind of
Like
just...
the ending, or what do you mean by...
I mean, I got the big thing from the end spoiled. I understood what happened at the end.
Okay.
I understood, like, not like there's a big twist, but like the big reveal moment without going into the spoilers, I suppose, that you get at the end, like the biggest moment that you get from the end. And I got spoiled what the last boss battle was and like what happened. Like I knew the outcome of the boss battle.
That's a lot to get spoiled. How did that happen?
I opened Facebook.
And someone wrote down in detail the last 2 hours of the game. Is that what happened?
No, I saw from two different posts. I saw a thumbnail or something like that of the last boss fight.
Yeah.
And it was of basically the last couple seconds. If that makes sense, without spoilers. And then I was scrolling some more and I saw another post that was like Atreus name, so you know, like
one of those gotcha headlines or whatever.
Yeah.
Catch you.
Basically.
Whatever.
And they got me. And it's just when stuff like that happens, you can't just like, it just puts a dour on you wanting to play something, I feel.
Yeah.
It's happened to me before stuff.
Side tangent. Apparently Facebook is bringing in mute words like Twitter. So that might,
Twitter?
Yeah, that might solve your problem in the future.
It still won't make people want to suddenly use Facebook more than Twitter.
No, that's not true. That's true.
It might help solve my problem.
Yeah.
See, on Twitter, I got God of War muted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I can do that.
Because it's a superior social media.
Yeah, damn right it is. So yeah, I didn't get spoiled on Twitter because I smart over there. You mute words when you don't want to stop sport.
Yeah.
But I mean that's fine. God of War, like, and this is another thing. Like when people, I feel like because I was only 2 hours off the finish, whenever people ask me like, what did you think? I feel like I was further enough in the game to have an opinion. Like, did finishing up that last 2 hours overall change my opinion of the game? No, not really.
But did you still enjoy it? Did you still get something?
Yeah, I enjoyed
from
it. I mean, I like the game. I think the game's good. I don't think it's amazing. I think the combat gets repetitive. Yeah, which is a problem with that's a problem with all the God of War games, I feel like. Even though I've only played like 1.5 and the 2 PSP games, they're all just repetitive kind of fights. And my problem isn't so much with the system itself. It's more the fights themselves, I suppose, and the troll problem. Which was, by the end of the game, I was ready to say, if I see one more fucking troll with a boss name show up from somewhere, I'm going to... I just got so sick of them as the mini-bosses.
Yeah.
By the end of the game, I feel like you fight like 10 of those fucking trolls. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Because it's literally the first enemy what's the first quote-unquote boss of the game is a troll.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like, you know, I thought at the time, this is the introductory level boss fight. And then when you fight a second one, you're like, okay, so maybe they'll build up. And you play the third, the fourth, the fifth. Oh, here's 2 at the same time. Here's a fucking... I was like, oh... You see, and the problem with those trolls is that the strategy to fighting them as the game progresses, even when you get more abilities and all sorts of things...
It doesn't change.
It doesn't change. It doesn't matter. You just do the exact same strategy, which is basically stand back and just press the throw your axe button and the return. You spam R1, R2, whatever it was. Yeah. And you press triangle, like just in rotation. Click, 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 click. And I don't feel like that's a way to fail at all. You basically can't die because he's always at a distance. And once he gets close enough, you just turn around, walk a little bit further, continue throwing axe. Like, it's not... And after you've done that enough times, you're just like, fuck, this is boring. And then every time you see a new one show up, you're like, oh my God, just die already. Did you ever give your overall thoughts on, like, what you thought?
I feel like I did. I thought it was great. I loved it. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the characters. That was probably more important than the actual gameplay, I think. And it's a beautiful looking game as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it looks amazing. I agree. Like, the story is the thing that dragged me through it. And, like, if I hadn't had the story spoiled, I would have just plowed through it whenever... I would have finished up that day that I was probably looking on Facebook, you know? But it's the fact that I had the main reason I'm playing the game spoiled.
Yeah.
And I'm not loving fighting fucking trolls that I was probably just like, I'm sick of fucking, you know. If I thought I could boot up the game and the last boss battle would be so different, so amazing, so cool compared to the rest of the boss fights in the game, that even if I knew what was going to happen, then I'd just do it because it would be like Bloodborne boss level or Dark Souls boss level, where each of those bosses they're just designed so well that everyone just feels like its own thing. Whereas I'm just like, I know, it's just... And it was. Like, that last boss fight is... I don't see how it's any different from any other boss fight in that game. In fact, you could even say it's the exact same fight you've done 2 or 3 times fucking prior, basically.
Yeah, they just make you sort of have to use all your abilities is the only difference, I think.
Yeah. I mean, without going into spoilers, it's just like, oh, the color of the body changed. You know, you better switch to a different ability type thing here. Oh. Good-o. I mean, it sounds like I'm shitting on the game a lot, but I mean, I really do like it. Those
You've got enough hindsight now to pick the flaws, I think.
Yeah. But when we get to the end of the year, will it be top 10? Probably. I mean, so far, if I'm being honest, we're about halfway through the year, and I don't feel like this year has been that great to me. Like, nothing has particularly grabbed me.
Yeah, but it's pretty stacked at the end of the year, I think, so...
Yeah, I mean, that's how it always goes, I suppose. The end of the year comes around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, God of War, great game. I don't think it's amazing. I mean, and my other thing was character decision-wise. Like, I feel like by the end of the game, they're trying to make me feel for Kratos, whereas at the start they weren't, because they knew you wouldn't. At the start, they're very much like, if you've played any of the other God of War games, and even if you haven't, we're going to basically tease that this guy's a dick. Because he's a dick to his son from the start. You know, he's just angry and grunty. And if you played any of the previous God of War games or knew anything about Kratos, you're like, this guy's a dick. Like, sure, he had some shit go wrong for him, but he
handled it in the worst way possible.
Yeah, like he's not a character that you particularly would say is a good guy, or I would have any way to relate to at all. And I feel like by the end of the game, there's one particular scene where they're trying to make me feel so bad, or not feel bad as in feel bad, but make me feel for him and the son in such a way that just wasn't clicking for me, that I'm just like, no, you haven't earned that. He's still a dick. To me, I never reached the end of the game and I was like, oh, he's such a great person now. Sure, his relationship with his son becomes better. Does that suddenly did it wipe away everything I had thoughts about Kratos as a character? No. He becomes a better father. Sure. By the end of the game, does he stop just being like, boy? Yeah. Cool. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure these I'm on hot takes over here.
I think so.
Forgot to, and you're just shaking.
It's about small steps. You don't want to overhaul a character in one go. That doesn't make sense.
No, like, I guess my thing is that if they didn't try to make that change, then I would have been fine. But I feel like by the end of the game, they feel like they've changed the character more than I feel like they did.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't feel like they felt like they changed him drastically. I feel like the game, the developers, whoever, feel like they've changed Kratos at least a tiny bit. And I'm like, you haven't. You've made him suddenly at least be something of a father by the end of the game. Sure. Yes. I believe that. Kratos is still a dick as far as I'm concerned.
Well, some people are just going to always be dicks.
Yeah, well, that's true. The only other thing that was cool, did you do the whole the proper ending thing?
No, I saw that afterwards, but I didn't.
That's fucking cool. And also, that's like it's because the credits start rolling, and then you go. If you haven't seen this, when you finish God of War, the credits start rolling, basically in real time at the end of the game. So you still got control of your character, and you're walking around, and the credits start rolling, and then they stop it at a certain point, and you're like, okay, that was a very short credits. Like, it wasn't many credits, and that's because when you finish the game, if you go back to your house at the start of the game, you will get the actual ending of the game. A cool clip plays. You can look it up on YouTube, I'm sure.
Yep.
And then once it's finished, the credits actually start rolling, like proper, as you know, black screen credits rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool, though.
Yeah.
I did appreciate that.
Yeah, I didn't learn that till I think I watched like 3 or 4 different spoiler casts with Corey Barlog. Yeah, and he said,
I remember reading about it briefly, and then but the game tells you to go there.
Yeah,
like,
he says it, but
yeah,
you can always go explore the rest of the world still.
Yeah.
And
but
people hadn't gone back until obviously they read it online, yeah.
I forgot about it, but I went back there because I was like, oh yeah, if I don't know, I should probably get the platinum. The platinums for this is, as far as I've heard, fairly simple, straightforward.
Yeah.
So I went back to the house area because that's the first area of the game. So I'm like, if I'm going to do a collectible guide, I'll just start from the first area and work my way up. So I headed back there thinking that's where I'll save the game. So next time I boot it up, I'm ready to go. And because I went there, when you walk up to house door, of course, there's an interact button. Interact, then the scene started playing. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot this was a thing. This is cool. And it is cool. Yeah. So that was a good moment. Detroit. It's fine. I mean, this is probably blasphemy, and I mean, I'm just on Hot Take Central at the moment.
Yeah.
So I might as well keep going. I preferred Beyond Two Souls.
Okay.
In my honest opinion, I preferred Beyond Two Souls, and because it felt like too much at times, and like I didn't know what was going, and then a lot of the overarching elements I felt like didn't really work, and when the game ended for me, I was just like, okay. Like, and maybe it varies for different people depending on what ending you get, but I feel like it shouldn't. But for me, I was just sitting there and I was waiting, and the screen went blank for a couple of seconds. I was waiting for it to go to another, cutscene, something like move along with the game. I mean, cutscene, the whole fucking game's cutscenes, really, isn't it? But I was waiting for it to move on, and the code started rolling. I was like, okay. That's odd. And I talked to Kieran just like 2 hours ago. Yeah. He said because I tweeted that, he said that he felt the exact same. When the game ended, he was just like, oh, okay, that's the end of the game, is it? It just seemed to come out of nowhere. There were moments when I was really hating and bored of characters, and last time we talked about it when I was getting into it, I was sick of Marcus. Yeah. By the end of the game, I would like a Marcus again, and I was sick of other characters. You know, but I don't feel like the quality for the story, for the writing, for each character's story was consistent enough, and I felt like the game was too long. I feel like it would have been much better if it was a more, because at times the game makes it out like it's this big epic action game.
Yeah,
but it's like what, fucking 20 hours long. I don't know. Like it's a lot longer than a quick action adventure type thing. You know, it's this big event, and I think it would have been a lot better if a lot of the scenes were cut down, and they did try and just make it this more 6 to 8 hour action piece. And then you're like, well, Dylan, can you do 3 hours and 3 characters in 6 to 8 hours? Yeah. Why not?
I don't know if you could.
But you could.
You could. I don't know if it would work the same way, though.
Probably not. But
yeah. You would have to cut a fair bit from each person's story.
Yeah, and I really don't know. But and a lot of the writing just came off wanky to me. Like, I mean, that's just David Cage. Yeah. It's just so on the nose with a lot of it that it's just annoying me. And a lot of it just felt so much like ripping off stuff that's been done before, but the game, but the writing thinks it's doing it for the first time ever. You know?
Well, that's what you have to do, isn't it? You can't.
Well, I don't know. Like at times, I just feel like it thinks it's smarter than what it is.
Yeah,
is my thing. And then you're like, well, look, there's been a whole fucking bunch of cyberpunk robot, like futuristic stuff written beforehand. You know, and at times the plot is more interesting on some higher level Blade Runner-esque like type writing. Sure, it starts heading in that direction, and then at times it nosedives off, and it's Will Smith iRobot.
Don't talk badly about Will Smith iRobot. That's a solid film.
It's an okay movie. It's not. I don't think it's
no Blade Runner, but yeah.
It's not like Blade Runner, what is the meaning of life? You know, that level for AI type stuff, I suppose. But at times I feel like it's heading that. I'm not going to say it's as good as Blade Runner. That's ridiculous. But at times its writing is heading up that direction and being smart and interesting. And then other times it just nosedives into stereotypical, just easy cliches, I felt.
Yeah.
Which was the iRobot type robot revolution shit. And I don't know, maybe it's the several characters thing. Also, I just don't know if I feel like I am as well. But I also tried to play Heavy Rain a couple of years ago and I found it boring as all fuck. And I only got like an hour or two into it. Everyone's like, oh, you should, it gets good after those couple hours. Well, no, it doesn't. Like, I'm not going to sit for a couple. But I found that boring. Beyond Two Souls was my first David Cage game, and I still much prefer that than any of the ones I've played, simply because that story is more unique. Like, it's the most unique thing I feel like out of the Heavy Rain, Detroit, and Beyond. I feel like Beyond's story is the most unique. Like, I can't compare it to like anything else that I've seen, like movie wise or game wise, which is why I found it interesting. And I never had a huge problem with the non-linear storytelling in that game.
Yeah,
you know, like I never had a hard time keeping up with the jumping backwards and forwards. I grew up watching Quentin Tarantino movies. I like that.
You can understand, yeah.
I like that style of going back and forth. You know, it's fine with me. So, you know, I'm not trying to say Beyond Two Souls is the greatest game of all time, but I'll say, having finished Detroit now, I'm still just like, I much prefer that.
Maybe you made poor choices.
Is there such a thing as poor choices? Or is it...
I don't know. I think I would imagine it'd be difficult to make every single ending feel solid.
But shouldn't you if you're going to make a game like this?
You should. I just don't know how possible it is. Well, I guess technically you have X amount of endings. You just have to write them all properly or whatever.
Yeah.
So
and I feel like you should.
Yeah. Well, I was happy.
Like
my ending was good.
Yeah, but you reckon you got the best ending possible?
Yeah. Everybody ended up happy. Everybody lived. Well, the main 3 robot androids lived. So yeah.
Well, all 3 of mine. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure I never saw Connor again, but I'm pretty sure his life, like he would have just got remade.
Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty sure.
That's another thing. I never had Connor die the whole game.
That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, the other 2, Marcus and Kara.
Yeah.
They're both fine.
Yeah.
I got Kara's best ending, I feel.
Yeah, where she got across the border.
Yeah.
Without anybody getting sacrificed.
No. But I said Kara's happy. I never said everyone else was happy, you know, like
she
Kara's
with Luther
happy.
at least?
No.
Oh, no.
She's got the kid. I tried my best.
Spoilers at some point, yeah.
Yeah. when I was talking about it with Kieran, I was just like, he kept saying stuff. I'm like, you were where? Like,
yeah.
I never even saw that shit. So, I mean, there's stuff like that that's cool with this game, but I definitely feel like you can't have one ending. If you, like, if you told me in full detail, or I go watch the ending that you've watched, if I watch it and go, what the fuck, that's like way better and way more detailed and has a way better closure point, and then compare it to mine and you're just like, yeah, that does just seem to end, doesn't it? Like,
just cuts to black, Sopranos.
It just cuts to black randomly. I'm like, it shouldn't be like that. Every ending should. It's like if you do one of those choose your own adventure books, all 3 fucking endings have to have a closure for the kids.
In those choose your own adventure books, mostly they just die in the middle at some random point. I'm pretty sure that's how most of them went.
Surely not.
Like the Goosebumps ones, yeah.
Oh, the Goosebumps. I don't think I ever remember it. Fuck, Goosebumps good, eh?
Yeah.
What a good book series. I need to watch that Jack Black film.
Yeah.
It just reminded me. I haven't watched it yet. They're doing a sequel.
Yeah, they are.
Check out What You Want to Watch every second Friday.
Yeah.
Including this week.
Maybe we should make that one of the movies.
Maybe. Yeah, all right. Let's move on from Detroit and God of War. But I finally finished them, everyone. There you go.
Yeah. Well, if you maybe should check out Beyond Two Souls, which was a PS Plus game the other
I've
month,
got it.
if you've already got it, yeah.
Yeah. I don't need to play it again, though.
No?
No. Well, there's the other thing. So I'm like, yeah, I'll probably try and platinum God of War, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to platinum Detroit.
No, that sounds like a lot of work.
I will never try and platinum Detroit. I've never tried to want to platinum Heavy Rain, even though, like, if you follow a guide, it's apparently, you know, easy. Like, you just do what the guide says. It's not exactly skill-based. And the same for Detroit. It's just time, effort to go through. Until Dawn. Never had the thought to go back and platinum that either. Because my problem with all these games is I've got my story.
Yeah.
And going back, I feel like I'm going to be bored. It's going to just fuck with my memories of the game type thing. And I'm just going to find it very tedious. And I did quickly Google a trophy guide for Detroit. And one of the people in the comments was like, yeah, I got the platinum. It took me about X amount of hours, but fuck, it was tedious doing all those different things in chapters I've already done before. Like, I got so bored. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, not for this type of game. For this type of game. It just, it's where I draw my line. I can't do these ones. I kind of want to replay like The Wolf Among Us and stuff like that. But this is years later. I honestly can't remember much of my original playthrough. And I don't feel like the decisions are as, you know, different and all over the place as these games. Or the playtime's as long. That's the other thing. Yeah. You know? I can play through all of The Wolf Among Us.
In 5 hours or something.
In 5 hours or something, you know? And they're a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
I feel. You never have too many segments where you have to walk around and look for fucking clues on whatever else. You can kind of Telltale stuff you can kind of more sit back and play as a TV episode, you know?
Yeah.
And jump in, do one episode tonight, do next episode the next night, so on and so forth. if I want to get those trophies. All right, let's move on. The other thing I wanted to mention that I played this week, that I mentioned last week, that I didn't think was coming out, was Luminous.
Oh, yeah. It did come out.
It did come out. It was just so weird because, like, before we recorded last week, I checked the Luminous release date thing, like search for it on PlayStation Store, doesn't exist. Check the PlayStation blog, not listed. Check Kotaku, who put up a list of like games coming out this week, not listed. Okay. I guess it's not coming in. Check the American thing. It's like listed there. I'm like, okay, but none of this really makes sense, but whatever. Mustn't be coming out until like a week later or something. Go next morning, check the PlayStation Store, latest releases. Not there. Well, just by off chance, go to the search bar, type in Luminous, find it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. But
it's not good marketing.
No, it's not good marketing. It's weird. But Luminous is
maybe
still
that's
great.
part of the puzzle of.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know what Luminous is, it's I mean, it's Tetris kinda. I mean, it's Tetris blocks, but like the system to have them pop is different than just lining up a row. Like you know, Tetris. Once there's a row,
you get the points.
Down 6 across, they break. You get points. This one is you've got to have 3 of the same color, and there's 2 different colors at all points.
Yeah.
So you'll have a block with like 4 small blocks in it that makes up like a 4x4 block.
Yeah.
Say, and it's like, oh, YOLO. It's like, cool. If I put that one down straight away, wherever it is, it's just going to pop. But if you put it with a bunch of other stuff, obviously it's going to pop all that stuff too.
Okay.
Other times you'll have ones that are L-shaped, and it's like if you put that down, then you got to work out how to get it. Anyway, but it's a little bit different to Tetris, and then it has a cool soundtrack, that type of thing. And the blocks only pop. There's this bar swiping left to right across the screen at all times, like left to right. And even if you line up all the blocks and they're ready to pop, they won't pop until the bar goes across it. And then you'll get a bigger combo if you can line up heaps and quickly, and then have the bar sweep across and knocks them all out in one go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's Luminous.
It
was Luminous. It was originally out on PSP. I did not play it on PSP. I first played it on Vita. It was one of the early Vita games that was released. They released Luminous for it. I think it had like a name, like a sub name, but
not Tetris.
Am I good at? No, not Tetris. Am I good at these games? No, I don't believe so. Are they fun? Yeah, they're fun. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason Tetris has been around for ages. I feel like even if you're not great at them, there is that Tetris effect.
Yeah,
someone said. and playing Luminous just got me more excited for Tetris Effect out later this year, of course. Whatever that's out, I don't know.
For PlayStation VR.
Fuck, I'm pumped. So excited. There was that Nick popped a video. Did you watch it? Nick popped a video in our Discord.
I don't think so.
Early in the week, they got like this top Tetris player in the world or something like that. I don't know I don't know if he was the number 1 or just like one of the best players. But like, here, play Tetris Effect. And the most annoying thing about it is he's just playing it normally without VR, and he's just making it look so easy, which just pisses me off. Like everything he's doing, you're like, game looks so easy. Like, why? That's not hard. Like, it looks so simple. But, I mean, it's not. The second you go to play it, you just, like, put one block in the wrong place, and then you're like, stress the fuck out.
You're
dead
in, like, 5 seconds.
Yeah. Then you're dead. But then the other thing was, so in Tetris Effect, they explain it in the video better. Head on over to our Discord, explosionnetwork.com/Discord. You'll find the link in there.
Yeah.
They explain it better in the video, but Tetris Effect has, like, an extra, like, column lengthways or something like that. Like, it's bigger than normal Tetris. So,
okay.
So if normal Tetris is like 6x6 or something, I'm not like a Tetris expert, but this one's like a bit bigger or longer or something. So you can get a bigger score. Like if you somehow manage to line up all the blocks and purposely leave a spot on the side or something like that, so you can pop them all whenever you want, which is what this guy's trying to do. He's trying to build them all the way up to basically the top right before he would lose, and then pop them all at once and make the whole screen blow up, and they say the word in the video. It's like a drog trucal, like some ridiculous word that they're like, if you search Google for, they'll show 0 results for, but it's a real word. Like, that's how ridiculous this word is.
Yeah.
And of course, the Tetris dude's trying to do that. And he gets really close and he fucks it up playing normally. And then he's like, oh, I haven't got the VR version. And they're like, oh, I didn't think a pro Tetris player would want to go in the silly VR headset, but sure, you go for gold. So they hook him up to the VR headset, and then he's magically playing 1,000 times better, and he manages to pull off the quadruple thing, blow it up. And in the video, they theorize it's because the VR headset has less latency than when you're actually looking at looking at your TV screen. So the little bit less latency was making him be able to play a lot faster and build up the blocks and stuff. I mean, that could be them being wanky in the video because it's a PlayStation video. Yeah. But the fact is, the VR headset does have less latency than if you're playing something you're looking at the screen. Is it enough for it to matter to normal people? No. Is it enough to matter to people who are trying to do stuff like that, or like more twitchy first-person shooter type stuff? That's why people get way higher response rates on monitors for games like Fortnite and stuff like that. Yes, that's when you do start to notice that stuff. But I mean, it's a cool video to watch. But yeah, Tetris Effect. I'm excited. All right, let's move on to the first topic.
Fun.
Take a breather. They've announced for the PS Plus games for the July. For the July.
For the July. So you've got Absolver PS4, Heavy Rain PS4, Rayman 3 HD PS3, Extreme Exorcism PS3, Space Overlords for Vita and PS4, and Zero Escape, Zero Time Dilemma for Vita. What is your personal pick out of these, Ash? I think it's pretty good. I think I've already got both games technically. Because we did get review copies of Absolver back in the day. So, but I would be keen to check that out on PS4, and with all the updates and everything that have been done since we reviewed that, which you can find at youtube.com/Explosion Network.
Hey!
and I guess also on the back of Detroit, it'd be cool to go back and play Heavy Rain. So,
did you play it back in the day?
I played like 3 or 4 hours, I think. And then got sidetracked with something. I don't know.
You need something to play, because every time I turn on my PS4 this week, you're just on Fallout Shelter.
Yeah.
Every time. I don't know. Wonder what Ash is for. Because I do that thing where I always just check my friends list when I first turn on my console. See who's online, what's everyone's playing. Turn on console, Fallout Shelter. Turn on console, Fallout Shelter.
It's been in rest mode a lot, so.
You sure?
Yeah.
I don't think it shows up when you're in rest mode.
I don't know. I haven't played it that much.
That's how it works. I'm pretty sure that's not how it works.
Just coincidence, I think, then.
I think you're an addict. How many hours a day are you playing Fallout Shelter for?
Maybe half an hour or so. Just click everything, make more babies. Do a quest or two.
Make more babies, do a quest or two. That's how I live my life, man.
Yeah.
My name's Ashley Hobley. It's a thing. Oh dear. Yeah. I had Absolver down for my pick because, as I said, I did not like Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
So I'd pick Absolver, and yeah, it was kind of buggy on PS4 when we did a review discussion for it last year, but it's probably fixed, probably a little bit better by now. Yeah. I'd hope so. Anyway, I'm not particularly great at the game, but
I remember Tom getting like hardcore into it.
Tom got way more into it, yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, mate, try and get the platinum, and then I think there's some level of online or like some level of grindiness to like doing anything you need to the platinum. He was like, nah, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah.
But I know a bunch of people that got it. I saw someone who, like, on Facebook, who I haven't like talked to for a while, but they used to know and game with, and he got into it for ages because he's really into like fighting games.
Yeah.
Like 2D ones, but he really got into it as a fighting game. So that was interesting. Because that's what it is, if you don't know. It is a third-person fighting game. You're like, does that make sense? But it's like there's a world, you run away around. It's like a shared world. You can run enough players.
Card-based combo system thing.
Card-based combo. It is. Watch our review discussion. YouTube.com/. Yeah. And then also, as I said when I wrote up the list for the PS Plus games early in the week when I put them all down, YouTube, explosionnetwork.com/news/ I don't know if I can find the link. Zero Escape, Zero Time Dilemma is the easiest plat you can grab from PlayStation Plus this month. I haven't got that plat yet, so I'll probably pick this one up. It is a visual novel game, which, if you play through them, may take you 60 to 100 hours. Or if you use a trophy guide and press the button that just automatically skips all the text, then it'll take you like 3 hours. And you're like, well,
yeah,
doesn't that just, like, why would you do that? You're missing the point.
The point
Hashtag every trophy counts. Shut the fuck up. That's my answer to your question. All right, so the big thing, it's weird to say the big release of last week because The Crew 2 came out and everything, but
yeah,
you know, whatever for that game. The big release of last week was a free game, The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit.
Yeah.
I jokingly say the big game, but I honestly feel like this game would have been talked about more than Crew 2.
Probably. I think, yeah. I don't know of anybody who talked about The Crew 2. I haven't seen any tweets about it or anything. So
I saw tweets of people saying it's not that great. And I was like, okay, so it's going to be like the first one. If you come back in a year after they've patched some stuff and added some content in, it might be worth checking out.
Yeah.
Maybe. But Captain Spirit. So it's it's about what we're going to go into like full spoilers because I think people should play it. I think you should play it on two terms or two different categories. I think you should play it if you have plans to play Life is Strange 2, because, and I don't think this is a big spoiler, and I think this is more something that is fine just to say to get people to play it. It is basically Life is Strange 2, the prologue.
Yeah.
And I think that's a spoiler. They didn't market it that way, but
no.
Were they wrong to not market it that way? No, because there may be people who just wanted to check it out as a solo experience, might not have checked it out. You know, maybe some more people checked this out who just jumped in thinking it was not connected to Life is Strange and checked it out. And that's fine. You can do that too, because it's not connected and you don't really understand that it's,
we don't know how much
connected.
it is connected.
Well, that's the other thing. We don't know how much it's connected. It may only be the fucking character shows up in the background scene for 5 minutes. You know, like, either way, it is definitely Life is Strange 2 prologue universe, whatever. It is to do with that game. Can you play this as someone who doesn't give any fucks about Life is Strange and just wants to check it out? Yes, because until the final
That's how most games
minutes,
work.
Well, no, because like until the last couple minutes, it really has nothing to do with Life is Strange.
Yeah,
it's very much a singular experience, and for a free one, I thought it was pretty good, to be honest. Like, I actually found that there was a lot more to do than I was expecting. How long do you reckon it took you to play through it? And like, how much did you do? Because
I did everything.
Okay, yeah.
I checked everything off the list.
Yeah,
I know, maybe 2.5 hours, something like that. It wasn't overly long, but
for a free
experience, not bad. Considering back in the day, you get like half-hour demos at best.
Yeah, and this is its own thing. It's not like a demo for Life is Strange 2. It's technically
a demo. That's how the PlayStation Store is.
Technically, yeah. I mean, the PlayStation Store just has it down as a demo. I mean, it is technically a demo, but at the same time, it's not apart from it's not a part of a game ripped out and put into a half-hour structure like old demos kind of thing. It's its own experience built on the same engine, game mechanics, etc., etc., etc. But so the story is you play as this little kid, and if you saw the trailer at E3, the trailer at E3 is like, you're a kid and you're having a great time, and remember how great it was to grow up and run around with your toys and pretend you're a superhero, and fuck yeah, that shit was awesome. Being a kid's awesome. Hey, remember that? You're gonna play this game and you're gonna remember how great it was to be a kid and be a superhero, and you're gonna dress up and you have a great old time.
Oh, The power of imagination.
Yeah, this game is very much the power of imagination when your childhood's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
So this game, without going into big spoilers, the game is a lot darker than they would have you believe.
Assuming you read into it, actually read into what they're doing. I would assume some people would not pick up the undertones if they just.
Do you really think so?
I think some people, yeah.
Oh, you have to be
pretty dense, but yeah.
You have to be oblivious because you could make you could try.
If you're not checking every little thing.
Well, I'll argue against that because there's literally the first scene when you go to the dinner table within the first 10 minutes of the game. So the game starts, you do a couple of introductory things, and then your dad calls you out to the breakfast table.
Yeah.
And there's something that happens at that table that's kind of, you're straight away like, nah. And that's not skippable. That is part of the, you have to do that segment to continue. So, because... So you can rush through this game.
Yeah.
It's not the way to play it. And if you do that, I don't know what you're going to get out of it. It's not the way it's meant to be played at all. You could easily do what is the bare necessary things to do to progress to the credits rolling. And you will probably not understand what the fuck was happening or the point of the game at all. It is very much, if you want to get the full story and everything, you have to do everything. And when I was, because Kieran played on stream, and I asked him when he was doing early late nights the other night, how many of the things he did, and he didn't do the car. All right. I said
that's probably the most important one, I think.
I feel like that's what I said. I feel like the car part is the saddest and the most important part of the game.
Yeah. Oh, well, that and the treasure.
The treasure also.
Yeah.
The treasure I would say is a sad part.
Yeah.
Is it important to understanding
probably not.
The kid's imaginary world? No. However, the car segment explains the origins of one of his imaginary villains in such a sad way.
Like his main boss, yeah.
His main boss. And it's so fucked up.
Yeah.
It is really, really sad. And I saw so this game doesn't really affect me on it's sad. Of course it's sad when when you do the treasure stuff, that's sad. When you do the car stuff we're talking about, that's sad. I'm not sitting here bawling in my seat though. It's just that's sad, that's emotional, that's blah, blah, blah. But I did see articles of people online who related more to this game, be it... I don't really go into spoilers because it's a 2-hour experience, and I feel like spoiling the main crux takes away from the discovery of everything. But I did see articles online of people saying they did relate because they had stuff happen in their life more akin to the kid, and this game was really hitting it home to them to the point that it was hard to play. And I could understand that. I saw another article where someone's like, maybe they should put a warning on this game because if someone goes to play this, they could actually get triggered. I know everyone likes to chuck theirs around as a joke word, but that's a real thing. And triggers there's a reason people put trigger warnings on articles and stuff. Do I believe you need to put trigger warnings on your games to spoil them? No. That's a choice. And I'm not going to say, don't you fucked up by not putting a trigger warning on it. But it was an interesting point for someone to make, given the context of the game story, I felt. Do I agree they need to put trigger warning in it? No, because it's like a game that they don't need to, really. That's the problem. You're going to play video games, you're going to go into a movie. Do you want people to spoil the story of the game warning for trigger warnings? No, I don't agree with that. But if they did put one on it, that would be their choice. Either way, it's an interesting point that someone did bring up that you don't really think about unless that's something that would personally affect you, I guess. So I think that element of it, the kid's storyline and stuff, does make it an interesting 2-hour experience that if you've never played any of these types of games or Life is Strange, you can jump in and have fun.
Yeah.
You'll just be like, you're fine. I saw Press Start reviewed it and gave it a 7. I'm like, fucking free game. This is basically a demo. At that point, you're basically reviewing a demo, but I think the reviewy-esque elements of it, I wouldn't personally review it, but if I was going to go into reviewy-esque elements, the gameplay or engine type stuff that stands out that separates this from Life is Strange Season 1 and Before the Storm, and where you can see that the cool stuff we're going to get into Life is Strange 2 mechanic-wise is there are small things you'll see, like in the snow, footprints are hanging around. You know? Like, that's better. The character models didn't seem as floaty. There was parts where you would be... Your dad would yell out and say something to you, and you could press like R1 to bring up the response wheel, I think, or something like that. But then I walked up to the fridge to interact with it, and the choices were still there. So you could be doing other stuff while the conversation continues. Whereas in these types of games, usually, and with Life is Strange 1 or Before the Storm, it's like you have to walk up to the character model, press X, then you have the whole back and forth choices. Like you're in a conversation then, you know, you're locked into the conversation. You can't be doing anything else.
Yeah.
While you're having the conversation. Whereas what they've basically teased me in this demo is, hey, coming into Life is Strange 2, it's going to be much more fluid and realistic with conversations, and you're going to be able to respond to people while you're actually continuing around doing other stuff, or maybe you can just fucking walk away from people and they'll be like, hey, come back, and they'll be like, fuck you, bye. Or you can walk further distance and try and respond. They're like, I can't hear you because you're fucking halfway down the street. What are you doing down there, dude? But yeah, I'd suggest playing it. If you would you suggest?
Yeah, I would. It's a cool experience. Pretty easy. I mean, it's not overly complicated. It is. I couldn't find that garage key for ages.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's easy to miss, but it's not like hidden.
And then the other thing was the password of the cell phone.
Oh, I looked that one up.
Yep.
I looked that one up.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. Yeah.
No.
I got the passcode to the thing in the garage.
The lock, yeah. That was pretty obvious, but
it just depends if you've looked in the bedroom beforehand.
No. But that cell phone, that was bullshit.
The cell phone was bullshit. I'm like, I don't know what this fucking cell phone number is. No. It's like, I don't have all night. So, all right, we said about 2.5 hours to play it. That's with Googling. If you don't want to Google it, it may take you 5 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
So
trying every single 8-digit combination trying to unlock this phone.
Unlock this fucking phone. So, you know, the choices are yours, people. You can do you can do with that as you want. Moving on. Play Captain Spirit. Excited for Life is Strange 2.
Good music, by the way. Yeah. Good music choice.
Good music. Yeah. How long did you sit? Coming back to it, how long did you sit? There's the signature Life is Strange thing is you'll get into sequences, both in Before the Storm and the original game, where sometimes you'll get in sequences and music will start playing, and then they'll do a bunch of fucking screensaver camera swoops around the places the music just plays.
A minute or two. Yeah.
Yeah, I sat there for like a couple minutes as well. Yeah. It's just, which I do in every single one of the games. There's a sequence in Before the Storm that is really good. There's a cool song playing, and it's just like in this like kind of sad, but like not like so sad that you don't want to sit there, but like it's a sad moment, and it's just going around. I sat that one for like nearly 10 minutes. I was like, I'm just gonna sit here for a while because I don't really know where I want to go with the story right now, and also, but that's what those moments are for, and that's what they do that Telltale doesn't. They give you these moments of like, here's some cool music, and like if you want to chill or think, here. If you just want to do them because they're cool and the song's cool, here. It's a good screensaver too. Just save the video, put it on your computer.
Yeah.
Go for gold. I don't bring up the whole crossplay thing every fucking episode, but I do feel like I have to mention this for one reason only. So this is Todd Howard, Bethesda's Todd Howard. He directly called out Sony, which is interesting because up until recently, if these scenarios had happened, developers wouldn't name Sony. You know, in previous years, if people have got asked about it, the first person, as far as I'm aware, and I'm 99% sure, the first person to basically blame Sony was, I can't remember his name, but from Rocket League. X Beyond dude and everything. But as far as I'm aware, he was the first person just to go, look, we could go to the office. It would take about 2 hours to do it. And the only thing from stopping us from making Rocket League crossplay between everyone is just Sony's go. If Sony said yes, I could drive to the office and get it done in a couple hours. That's how easy it is. Like, and he said that in an interview like last year, I feel, or maybe before, I don't know, but I feel like it was only last year. So that was interesting. Did you find me a name, Ash? I can see you.
Dunham.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah,
I can't find his first name.
Yeah, Dunham. Thank you. Jeff
Dunham.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Jeff Dunham? Yeah.
I feel like
that's right. Just type Jeff Dunham into Google. Is that a real person's name? Is it a fake name?
Jeremy Dunham.
Jeremy Dunham. Yeah, I got the J right. There you go. Thank you.
There.
Yeah, I feel like he was the first person to say it, but so now Todd Howard's just basically called out Sony, which is interesting because this whole event's just building to a eventual explosion, I feel.
Yeah.
Because each week there's someone else. So this comes from Game Informer, who in a video, Game Informer wrote the article in which they reported that in the German website GameStar.de, for the Germans, that's how they do their websites, Ash, with the
DE.
The .des, you know, and proper, they're weird E's too.
They don't like Denmark. They want to just take
it. Yeah. Said Bethesda's Game Studios director and executive producer Todd Howard directly asked about crossplay for this year's Fallout game, Fallout 76. And he said, quote, "We would love to do that, but right now that's not possible." Howard then paused for a couple of seconds and then said, "Sony isn't being as helpful as we want them to be." And I love the fact that he paused for a couple seconds and was like, fuck it. It's Sony's fault. Because I feel like with all the building backlash against him with the crossplay thing, that his brain kind of just ticked over and thought,
I can get away with this.
I can not only get away with it, but it might help with how much they're copying it at the moment.
Well,
so, fuck it.
Well, wasn't it also Bethesda that had the trouble with the mods for Fallout 4 as well? And that PlayStation didn't want to have it originally, and then they eventually caved. So Todd Howard's coming from a position of power. He knows they'll listen to him.
He's coming from a position of power as a straight white man, but
yeah. He didn't work for that power at all. Yeah, it's just because he's a straight white man. He knocked on the door to Bethesda Studios and he just gave him the job, gave him everything, gave him the kids.
Sounds like it if you watch that interview, that fucking doco as well.
That's true.
It does sound like you knock on the door. Hey guys, can I have a job? Work on the Terminator game.
Yeah,
it sounds like fun. But yeah, I mean that's interesting. I don't think there's much to be said about it other than it is funny that he's calling them out. I definitely feel like each week we're just going to slowly build this thing up to a point of implosion. And then Sony will either be like, fuck all years, buy. And then they lose like millions of buyers or something. Or they're like, eventually someone in the room of his executives is like, can we just, look, I'll buy everyone lunch. And just
someone flick the switch.
Just flick the fucking switch. Just send the email and say, we're on board. Welcome to the team. And then we can have some cool trailer done where the Switches are playing with Xboxes and Sony like walks into the room. Some guy with a PlayStation walks in and is like, hey guys, are you playing Minecraft? They're like, oh yeah, would love to play with you, but you know, we can't. And then he's like, yeah, but I can now. And like, he whips out his meter. He's like, everything's crossplay.
It'd be like a nerdy kid and like overweight kid playing by themselves in like the dirt. And then the cool kid comes over and
the jock.
Come on, let's go play games with all the other kids who are on PlayStation.
I keep waiting for Sony to release a trailer where it's someone playing a Switch and an Xbox Minecraft or something, and they walk in and everyone's like, oh, this is it. This is a trailer where they're going to secretly release that they're doing crossplay. And then it's a real rich jock dude or something, and he's like, hey guys, I see you playing your Switches and Xboxes. That's cool. I can't play with you, but so instead I brought two PS4 so you can play with me. Fucking trailer ends, Sony's just like, if you can't play with your friends, just play on the PS4.
Oh, we should make that.
We don't have the budget all the time. We don't have the budget to buy 2 prop PS4s.
Yeah. If it's still a thing by PAX, maybe.
Yeah, at PAX. I mean, I assume this whole fucking scenario is sorted by PAX, but if not, there you go. We'll just film a skit in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Get it done. Before I wrap up show, got a question from Michael on our Discord. Remember, you can chuck us a question for the show on our Discord. As mentioned previously, explosionnetwork.com/Discord. Many different things. Discord. Many different ways you can talk about different things on there. Movies, games, TVs, blah, blah, blah. But for this segment, there's a mailbox segment for Platt. Chuck your question in there. He gave us 2 questions. I'll do 1 this week. Maybe 2 if you answer this one so quickly. He said, before Twitch, now Ash doesn't stream that much, but
yet.
Ash is going to start streaming more, everyone. Get excited. Before Twitch, what were your experiences with backseat gaming, either with your family or your friends? Have you experienced much backseat gaming, Ash?
Yeah. There's 3 brothers trying to play the one console. I mean, there was always a lot of watching each other play Kingdom Hearts and that sort of any pretty much single player game that we're playing. Or if the 2 of us were playing like football, like FIFA or something, the other person would have to watch and wait till somebody loses and then take over. Yeah, but
have you ever been playing something where you've just been like, can you shut the fuck up so I can just play the fucking game?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like,
probably Kingdom Hearts, I imagine, like
really?
Like that Underwater world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Any boss. Or at the end of like Banjo-Kazooie against the villain at the end. The witch lady, I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
Anytime you're just failing at something and you blame like, everybody else. Stop looking at the screen.
Yeah.
You put me off. Yeah.
Well, that's the problem with Twitch, and you see it happen with people, even like big streamers. It's always funny if you go into someone's stream with like say 1,000 people, like high but not so high that you can't keep up with the fucking comments scrolling, you know? And it's like, if you're watching someone play a game where there's a boss level or something and they're just failing terribly, there's always those people in the chat that are like, you suck. Like, I could do this with one eye closed. It's like, just fuck off. Like,
yeah.
Go play the fucking game then. Like, you're the ones sitting here. Backseat gaming. I can't actually recall any period where I've had my brother backseat game as a child. I don't recall.
No,
I may have backseat gamed him. I assume that if anyone was doing it, I would have been doing it. Oh yeah, that makes more sense. Because I'm the older brother. But I don't recall any time where he was like, let me fucking do that. I mean, I've had times where we'd do it all the time. When I was down at the friend's place and we'd be sitting around playing, doing drugs. There was... we'd just be sitting there and, you know, that would be like if someone's fucking dying 1,000 times, just be like, give me the fucking controller. But it's like a joking, no one got like super shitty, but that's like,
yeah,
other times. Or it'd be like, there are times when backseat gaming is helpful. If you walk past a secret or you don't see it or something, you know, back there, you miss the thing. But then there's other times where, say you walk directly past the objective because you want to go explore around the corner, and then someone's like, oh, I've played the game before, there's nothing up there, just turn back around and go up the thing. And you're like, are you sure there's nothing up there? Yeah, no, there's nothing in there. Okay, I guess so. Like, that's annoying backseat gaming, I feel.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing on Twitch-wise, I feel like backseat gaming on Twitch is a no-no unless someone asks for it. That's like my general rule. I feel like if I've ever watched Twitch, and I've watched someone play a game that I know to do, like if they're lost or, you know, something like that, and you know how to help them, it's the general thing should be to ask first. Hey, do you want me to tell you where to go? Because maybe they don't want you to. Maybe 10 minutes later they're like, yeah, no, just tell me now. I can't be fucked. But in general, I think the general rule for Twitch is don't just randomly chuck advice or information into the chat unless the streamer is just like, no, just go for gold, do it. And because it just takes away from it, you know, like it's like part of the fun sometimes is if you can walk straight into a room and someone in the chat is, as soon as you're in there, it's like, oh, you have to do this, and that's how you beat the puzzle or something. It's like, what's the point then? You're basically having a walkthrough read out loud to you. Is that how you'd be playing the game if you wasn't streaming?
Yeah.
No. Wouldn't be. Move on. Yeah, so it varies. Just depends on the person, I suppose.
Yeah.
What would you do if you're playing, if you're streaming, you're stuck on a part for, let's say, 30 seconds.
Feel free to tell me.
You don't care? 0 fucks given?
Yeah, the sooner it's done, I don't know. I'll find out soon enough.
To me, it's like I would prefer to walk into a room. I mean, the example is walking into a room and you're lost or something. I know. Yeah. You know, there's a puzzle or something simple. You're playing fucking Tomb Raider. I don't know. And I would prefer to wander around for a couple minutes because that's the game. But then if after a couple minutes I'm like, I ain't got all the time in the world, just someone tell me where the fuck to go. Just tell me now. But I prefer to have that
option.
Chance.
Yeah.
Well, just that chance to actually do it myself.
Yeah.
Because you're obviously going to feel a lot better
than being told.
Yeah. I don't want the go-to to be just tell me all the time. Just tell me what the fuck to do. That's more. And maybe, and if there's someone out there, I mean, I'm sure there's people on Twitch who just stream and are like, I'd rather spend an hour stuck than, and I'm sure people exist who would just like straight up ban people, like if they told them. And do I think they're crazy? No. I mean, that's their...
Yeah, they're free to do whatever they want.
They're free to do it. If that's how you want to go about it, then I don't see that as a problem. You know, I can.
I don't know why you'd watch that for an hour. That'd be hard to watch, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
unless they're an interesting person who's.
Well, I mean, I suppose it's different. It's like a puzzle game. It depends on what it is. Something like Bloodborne or those types of games, if someone's stuck on a boss for an hour, maybe that's just because it's not exactly the same every time. You know. Compared to a puzzle that you could just be like, you move that thing left, you move that thing right, you know, like it's very...
There's one answer, yeah.
There's one answer, yeah.
Not a skill-based.
Yeah, not a skill-based thing, I feel like is the thing. Because even with like boss fights, like if there's a secret thing, because often with video games, of course, with boss fights, it's like, well, his weakness is this, or her weakness is this, etc., etc., etc. This is what you have to do. But the game's designed in that you're supposed to start the boss fight, and you're supposed to work it out as you fight it. You're not supposed to know the fucking weakness the second you start the fight, is the thing. But I'll often see when I've seen people stream Soulsborne's games, it's like they're a minute to the fight. They haven't figured out the boss's techniques yet. They haven't figured out the way they're fighting it. And people in the chat are like, well, it's, you got to do this, like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, you didn't know that the first minute you played the game. That's ridiculous. Just... And maybe you want to walk into the Soulsborne fight and know straight away what to do. I personally think that defeats the purpose of those types of games. But I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's your choice. But yeah, we'll save the other question, Marcus, for next week. Thank you for the questions in the Discord.
Thank you.
This has been Platinum Explosion, #1 PlayStation podcast on the Oceanias. You can follow me on Twitter at VivalDude. Where can people follow you?
You can follow me at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEYHOBLEY. It's a thing.
It is indeed. You can follow the show on Twitter at Platt Podcast, and don't forget the show 5 stars on iTunes. Super play, thank you. If you don't want to do that, word of mouth. Thank you very much. As previously mentioned, we're really pumping Discord these days because we're just having a good old time there.
Yeah.
Come in there, have a good time. ExplosionNetwork.com/Discord. This is, of course, a product of the Explosion Network. You head on over to ExplosionNetwork.com for all the articles, reviews, other podcasts, links to all the stuff that exists, magical unikittens.
There's a store.
There's a store. Yeah. Buy shirts. Give us money.
Flat t-shirt.
I mean, don't just give us money for the sake of give us money. Give us money
and get something in return. Yeah.
Get something in return, but also know that eventually the goal is to reach a stage where the Explosion Network is an endeavor in which we're just in negatives. Let's be honest, Dylan. Yeah. I want to reach a stage where we're in $1 of profit this year, guys. It's fucking great. So yeah. On that downer, beat walks your way over to early late nights. Every Tuesday and Friday, you can join Kieran Marchant live on twitch.tv/Explosion Network from 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Kieran will be there breaking down the latest in gaming news, esports, and his thoughts on the latest releases. Join him live on Twitch and chat along or chuck some questions his way and stick around after the show as he plays some games for you. If you can't watch live, you can find Early Late Nights on youtube.com/Explosion Network and podcasting services, including iTunes, the following day. In case you missed it, Australia now has Amazon Prime too. If you're thinking about subscribing just for the free shipping or any of the other offers they offer, you do indeed get a free Prime subscription to use on Twitch with your subscription. So if you'd like to chuck it our way, we'd appreciate the extra buck. But if not, at least chuck that at someone. You might as well use it. You've got it. Flaunt it if you've got it. Got it. Flaunt it if you've got it. Bye, sexy.
I don't know if it's a down note. It's kind of hopeful.
Oh, yeah, it's just a somber little, you know.
Yeah.
It's like there's a chance for us, but at the same time, I'm just in negatives.
We're losing so much money.
I'm losing so much money on this shit. Please love us.